Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're talking about money, but probably not in the way you're used to thinking about it. We're not diving into budgets or investing. Instead, we're going to get right to the heart of that feeling. The stress, the anxiety, and figure out what financial steadiness actually means. Let's get into it.
So, how many times have you asked yourself this? Am I okay with money? I mean, it's such a loaded question, right? It's vague, it's stressful, and honestly, it's just not very helpful. It kind of just keeps us spinning our wheels, stuck in this loop of emotion.
So what if we just threw that old question out? The real shift, the real breakthrough happens when we stop asking if we're emotionally okay and we start asking something way more practical. What does my financial structure reveal? See how that one little change moves us from just feeling anxious to actually seeing things clearly?
Right, so this is the core idea we're going to dig into today. Your financial well-being is really a matter of structure, not just, feelings or willpower.
This statement right here is simple, but man, is it powerful. Steadiness isn't emotional, it's structural. Think about that for a second. It means that feeling financially stretched isn't some kind of personal failing. It's just the result of the relationship between your income and your expenses. It's about the setup.
Okay, so how do we actually see that structure? Well, it all comes down to finding just two numbers. And don't worry, forget about those super complex budgets for a minute. All we need are two key figures to get a clear picture. All right, the first number is what we call your floor. This is the absolute non-negotiable amount of money you need every single month to cover the true essentials. We're talking housing, utilities, groceries, basic transportation. Think of it as your survival number. What does it take to keep the lights on?
The second number is your baseline. Now, this is what you typically spend in a month. It includes all those essentials from your floor, sure, but it also adds in all the other stuff. The coffees, the subscriptions, entertainment. It's the real, honest reflection of your current lifestyle. And right here, this is the single most important question of this whole explainer. What is the relationship between those two numbers? Is your typical spending, your baseline, consistently living below your essential minimum, your floor? Or is it living above it? Because that relationship determines everything.
Okay, now let's put this into practice with a really simple three-step diagnosis. This is how you can look at your own numbers and understand your financial structure, like right now, today.
The process is super straightforward. First, we're going to compare the two numbers. Second, we'll give your situation a name. And third, we'll look for any patterns or volatility. So let's walk through it together. Step 1 is dead simple. Just complete this sentence for yourself. My baseline is below, equal to, or above my floor. That's it. That one little word you fill in there tells a huge story. Step 2 is about naming your state based on that comparison. If your baseline is below your floor, you're what we call structurally steady. If they're pretty much equal, you're stable but tight. And if your baseline is above your floor, you're structurally exposed. Now, remember, this is not a judgment at all. It's just an objective label, like an alignment check. And finally, step 3 is to look for volatility. I want you to scan your last 6, maybe 12 months. How often are you actually hitting your floor number with your income? Do you notice your spending creeping up in the months when you earn more? This one is huge. So many of us plan our lives based on our average income instead of our required floor.
So why does this simple diagnosis work so well? Well, it's because getting clear on your structure is the single fastest way to lower that financial tension and anxiety. I absolutely love this phrase from the source material. Anxiety loves ambiguity. Isn't that the truth? When the relationship between what you need and what you spend is just this fuzzy, unclear mess in your head, everything feels heavier and way more stressful. But the moment that relationship becomes visible, everything changes. You can stop taking income ups and downs so personally. You can stop blaming yourself for a supposed lack of discipline. Instead, you see the actual structure at play. And that is what allows you to make calm decisions based on reality, not the emotion of the moment.
And I'm gonna say this again because it is so, so important. Seeing your structure is a diagnosis, not a judgment. The goal here is just interpretation and awareness, not to make you feel bad or force you into some drastic, immediate action. And just to be crystal clear, this framework is not a call to slash all your spending. It's not a judgment on your lifestyle choices, and it's not even a strategy to grow your income. It's simply a diagnostic tool. After all, you can't optimize what you haven't interpreted first. So, all of this work, finding your numbers, diagnosing your state,
It's all about equipping you with a new, more powerful, and ultimately steadier question to guide your financial life.
This right here is the big shift we've been building up to. We move from a stressful, vague question like, ugh, how can I make more money, to a much more focused and structural one. Does my baseline respect my floor? This new question grounds you in reality and gives you a clear variable to work with.
So for today, the goal isn't to fix anything. Seriously, the only goal is awareness. To simply see your structure, name it, and just sit with that clarity for a moment. That is the essential first step.
And that leaves us with a pretty interesting final thought, right? Once you have this awareness, how do you actually make steadiness a measurable part of your financial life? Next time on The Explainer, we're going to build on this foundation of awareness. We'll introduce two brand new concepts, cash and margin, and I'll show you how to combine them with your floor to create a really simple system for tracking your financial structure. Thanks for watching.